I never played this game as a child, but I beat it a few years back and I loved it. Looking at the game critically, however, will reveal its few flaws. First off, the game is incredibly linear. Don't get me wrong, there are a few side quests, but there isn't much encouragement to turn around. This is why the game scored the lowest on the list. The story falls short for me. It's not that it was incredibly complicated, it's just that it left me uninterested for most of the game, but that's just me. I love the battle system for the most part. I doubt this game would have made the list without it, honestly. The frantic button mashing can get a little old, but it'll be second nature soon into the game. Overall, a pretty solid game, despite its few flaws. I want to start this one off by saying I've never beaten this game and I've never gotten close. I spent so much time on this game when I was younger, but it proved to be way too hard. I'll come to it again one day and beat it, I just knew it had to make the list. The battle mechanics of this game is what shines most about it. While difficult, the battles are intense and offer more than simply just choosing the action for your turn. Being able to control your character position on the fly has always been a favorite mechanic for me. Same reason I love Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube. Play this game if you love a challenge. Saga Frontier is a really unique game. Not many RPGs have multiple stories that are radically different than each other. Saga Frontier offers many characters with each having a different story and playable characters. Characters do often appear in other storylines and the game does have a direction they all go towards. However, they are different enough to be interesting and not just an excuse to copy and paste their way through the game. The battle system of this game is insane. There are tons of combo moves you can find throughout the game if you mix up attacks enough. I would go as far as to say that the combos are better than chrono triggers. I've heard that you have to beat all the character stories in order to reach the true end, but I've never done it personally. Being difficult is a classic RPG trend, but this one is a tad more so. Right on up there with Star Ocean, this game will make you want to rip your hair out. Some will argue the sprites are crudely drawn, but I feel it adds to the charm of the game. Give this underrated gem a try sometime. Final Fantasy VII, the game everyone either loves or loves to hate. Say what you want about this entry, but you can't deny that this game defined its genre back in the day. I pride myself on being able to put the fan in me aside and to look at things critically. Was this a perfect game? No, of course not, but this one comes closer to being so more than most. The materia system is the first thing I always come to when thinking about how awesome this game really is. Materia allows you to mold your players however you want. Skills, stats, and summons are just a few examples of things you can alter with materia. The only downside, in my opinion, is that you are practically required to complete most of the quote-unquote optional quests in order to beat the game. Sephiroth is damn hard and requires a good strategy and some of the best gear in the game, of which you have to kill other bosses that are equally as hard, but just not as long to obtain. The story comes at a great pace and makes you want to keep going. Each character has their own backstory and is just as important as every other member in the FF7 cast. While it doesn't hold the #1 spot on my list, this game will always be dear to my heart. Ah, here we are, the #1 spot. Xenogears has a niche following, but for how amazing this game is, it surprisingly didn't get too big. Great anime-style FMV cinematics, great story, awesome battle mechanics, and being able to pilot huge Gundam-esque robots in battle are just a few of the pros. To begin with, the story flows perfectly in sync with the gameplay. No need for pesky overgrinding unless you like to run a lot from battle, but if you do, you shouldn't be playing early RPGs anyways. This seamless flow of gameplay makes flying through this one a breeze. Not to imply the game is easy, but it is one of the easiest listed today. The combination style attack system is very similar to Legend of Legaia. I don't know for sure, but I always assume this was intentional due to the good reception of Legend of Legaia's battle engine. The robots, or gears as the game refers to them, add another level of depth to the game. Technically, once you get your gears, you can mow through all the small enemies no problem, except that it takes fuel to run your gear and your characters won't level. Considering there are many places your huge 500-foot robot can't fit, not leveling is a bad idea. Having a good condition copy of this game is quite rare. Definitely not legendary tier rare, but even an ISO of this game was hard to find for a while. You can now download the full game on the PlayStation Network for a small fee, which is worth it considering the quality of this game. To the few watching this that are knowledgeable about the game, yes, I'm getting to the bad part. The sad part about life is that nothing's perfect, and sometimes you get to deal with what you got. The second disc is incredibly rushed and contains less gameplay than the first. Square cut the funding of this project immensely near the end of the project, forcing the developers to rush the ending to an otherwise flawless game. Other than this one flaw, I have nothing bad to say about this game. One of them pops into my local retro game shop every month or so if you find a copy, ignore the price and buy it. I promise you won't be disappointed. This is Twitch from Twitch Gaming, signing off. Stay sharp, my friends.